Greetings everyone, this is Apostle Daniel. Wow, it's exciting time to be speaking to you again this wonderful evening. I trust and I hope that you are well. I'm going to talk about some critical issues that we need to understand, most especially now, during the times that we find ourselves in. But before doing that, let me then appreciate our production team for the great work that they have done, especially our leaders in the business and our SDs. Wow, SD Vivian, SD Soli, you are the best. Continue to shine. Thank you. Now, with that said, thank you for connecting. I know you are here with us. There are those that are connecting. Please begin to comment and tell me where you are watching the Apostle from. Tell me, talk to me now. Begin to comment with the name of the country, whose flag you are raising right now. Come on, tell me. I see you. You are coming from Zambia. Let me see Botswana, Zambia, Mauritius, Madagascar. Everywhere you are coming from. South Africa, are you here? Come on, hit the button there and begin to tell me where you are coming from. Thank you so much. Now, today I want to deal with the change that is inevitable that must happen within the business sector. I want to say we are now aware that we are living and finding ourselves in a new environment. Our world has transformed. Our world has changed. And this is the reality that we need to deal with now. Since the month of March, when the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, announced a lockdown, period in our country, that lockdown has been extended up to now. And I think this global phenomenon of lockdown might remain with us for the longest of time. Now, the life, after COVID has now dictated certain things and demands from us that we cannot gather in numbers, we cannot be able to socialize the way we did, and this has a very serious impact on our day-to-day life. It has affected our way of doing things, and therefore our world has, changed. Now, any change in the environment has got a bearing on our economy. Because of this change, some of the companies have closed. Because of this change, some of the companies cannot trade. And therefore, profitable companies are no longer profitable because of this change. There are companies that went under and have applied for liquidation, not only in South Africa, by the way, within the entire global community. And this happened because of change that happened, and especially when we did not expect it. Nobody knew when we started the year 2020, that there's going to be a change so massive and drastic as this one. So this is very much important for us to note. And more especially those that are in the network marketing space. This change affects us directly because our business is called direct, marketing, direct selling. Marketing business. We are selling a product, from person to person. The strength of our business depends on our ability to move and interact and mingle with people. We used to have, presentations where we gather masses, together, and we present to the masses and make them see this great opportunity. However, because of the new world that we are living in, we are unable to have such powerful, gatherings that we had in the past. So when change hits us, it then forces us to adapt or die. There are two things that happen whenever change comes. It forces us either to adapt or to die. If you do not adapt within the space of change, you are naturally going to die. Those that cannot adapt, they will literally die. It is very much important to know. If you cannot adapt with the changing atmosphere, the changing environment, I tell you, you will not be able to survive, more especially in this new world that we found ourselves in. I want to say to this, one great teacher that, inspires my life so much, the one that I follow wholeheartedly with my entire life, said, and I quote, he said, you cannot put a new wine into an old wine skin. Similarly, you cannot put an old wine into a new wine skin. You cannot put a new wine into an old wine skin, and similarly, you cannot put an old wine into a new wine skin. So when you do this, the the wine skin will burst, and you will lose both the skin and the wine. So a new wine requires a new wine skin. An old wine requires an old wine skin. Those that are in the winery business understand this language. I'm telling you, meaning when the environment changes, it gives us a new world. And the methods of old cannot apply in our new world. So if we use the methods of yesterday into this new world, we will burst, we will crash, we will not be able to survive. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a need for you and for me to change our way of doing things and to change our way of thinking. Now, this new business environment, I tell you, it is very exciting, but also it is very terrifying. It is, I call it the perilous time. But I want to say to somebody, don't be discouraged. Many great inventions happen, during perilous times. Minds are activated to think beyond, beyond the horizon under pressure. Many great things came when those who invented them were under some kind of pressure. Many powerful strategies were developed out of, a military, setting. So when things are tough, we are forced to think out of our comfort zone. We are forced, to go an extra mile. When our lives are in danger, we are able to respond by thinking differently in order to ensure our survival. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say to you, the business world has changed. It can no longer be business as usual, but rather business unusual. So if you are able to read the season within which we operate, then you will be able to adapt. One man said, we need to be like the sons of Issachar who are able to redeem the times. They're able to read the times. One man said, there is a time and a season for everything under the sun. So whatever that is happening now, it is happening because it is the season for it to happen. But let me tell you, a season can advantage you, but the same season can destroy you. It all depends on you. Those that are able to read the season, that the season has changed, they will be able to reinvent themselves. They will be able to reposition themselves. They will be able to remold, themselves and remodel, their way and pattern of thinking, their way and pattern of doing things. Now, let me talk to you now, and because I want you to succeed in the long-reach business space. I want you to succeed, and let me tell you, I see you succeeding. In these beautiful times, these exciting times, these challenging times, those that are lazy to think, they are already discouraged. Many people have thrown away their towel. They've hanged their tools of trade in the long-reach business. They say, whom will I sell to? Because people are in-house. We are no longer able to meet people. We are no longer able to do presentations. I'm waiting for this thing to be over before I start the business. Are you that person? You are the right person I want to talk to, today. Are you that person who says, I'm so discouraged, Apostle? My business was doing well. My team was doing well. I was closing a week with 10,000, 20,000 PVs. And ever since this new world has dawned on me, I'm closing my weeks with 0 PVs. And you are so discouraged, and you are thinking, maybe perhaps you should look, for business opportunities elsewhere. I want to say to you, this is not the time for you to change. Because when you move into the new business, the first challenge is you need to learn their lingo. You need to know their business processes. You need to find a new market. With long-reach, because you have been in the business, you already have a market. You already know the system. You already know the compensation plan. All you need to do is to reinvent yourself, reinvent your methodology and your approach in doing this business. Listen to me, my brothers and my sister, I see you succeeding, and I see you making it in this business, and surely you will succeed, because I am here with the team just to make sure you succeed. We want you, to succeed in this business, and we don't want you to give up in the business. We want you to succeed, and I see you succeeding. I see you hitting the rank. I see you becoming an SD. I see you, clinching those incentives, that 200,000 incentive, that 30,000 incentive, that million incentive. You are doing it because I'm here with the team to make sure we educate you and empower you towards your very success. Now listen to me. The new business environment that we find ourselves in requires 2 things from us. These are the 2 things. I give you these things you go back into your business, you will see a supernatural turnaround. You go back to your business with these two things. Listen, I said two things. Take these two things as your tools. Go back to your business environment and you are going to become a sign and a wonder. Now listen, what are the two things, Apostle, that we're talking about? Number one, the new business environment demands, number one, that we have a new way of thinking. That is number one. I say, we cannot think the way we're thinking before COVID and have different results. The world has changed. The world around us has changed. It has evolved. So our thinking must also evolve. So we need a new way of thinking. Number two, we need a new way of doing things. You cannot do the same thing and expect different results. So what worked in the previous world may not work and shall not work in this new business world. So we need these two things. You master these two things, you are going in the business. I tell you, number one, I said a new way of thinking, and number two, a new way of doing things. Now listen to this. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. What are you thinking right now? Do you think you can't make it because of COVID? Do you think you cannot succeed because of the environment that has changed? Then you are right. If you can think that way, then it will be that way. Those who say they can and those who say they cannot are both right. Which right is your right? Are you saying you cannot make it? But I say you can make it. If you can change your mindset and have a new way of thinking to say, because the environment has changed, let me change myself and adapt to the environment, become smart and be able to turn things around. So a new way of thinking is demanded upon us. We cannot think traditionally if we want super, excellent or super ordinary, results. So a new way of thinking is demanded upon us. But number two, I said, a new way of doing things. When we change the way we think, we then change the things we do. Because remember, every activity in your life, it is first a thought activity. It starts in the mind. It starts as an idea. If you think it, then you can do it. You become what you think. You become what you think. Whatever you meditate upon, you take the form of it. Now, the thoughts we have, they are personalized in the actions that we do. Now, I want to say to you, if you can master the art of changing your mind, you have then mastered the art of changing your life. If you can change your mind, then you can change your mind. So the number one is said, change the way of thinking. Change the way of thinking. Start to have a mentality of a winner. Start to have a mentality that, this thing is doable. If there is a will, there is a way. If there is a will, there is a way. I can find a way to make this thing work. Isn't it? You can find, even during this time of lockdown, people are busy signing every day. People are busy investing every day. Maybe you need to think, if South Africa is not working, look elsewhere. I've got teams that are signing up all the time in Zambia. I've got teams signing up all the time in Botswana. And these two countries have become bigger feeders into my business. And I am concentrating my efforts, towards these countries. Yes, I'm still working in South Africa as well, but I've given special attention now to Zambia and Botswana. Why? Because at the moment, the environment there is better and is right. It's a season for them. So you need to change your way of thinking. Even in South Africa, we are finding people, we are signing stockings in South Africa. Why? Because we have repositioned ourselves. You can reposition yourself by changing how you think. That is the number one requirement. Ladies and gentlemen, if you cannot change it in your mind, you cannot change it in your actions. If you cannot change it in your mind, you cannot change it in your works. So it must work first in your mind. Then it will work in your life. Number two, I say change the way of doing things. That is very much important. You can't do things the way you did them. Can I say something now here to you? Listen, when COVID was not here, we became demigods. You did not understand the value of the team. You did not back your team. You know why? If they don't want to work, you will have a very powerful presentation in the most upmarket hotel, and people, will come and will sign up many people, after that presentation. So you could easily replace anyone, but not now. Now you need to change the way you view your members. That every member in your team is a biological asset given to you. Every member in your team is a stream of income given to you. Every member in your team, it's a valuable human resource, a human capital. Now, the first asset you have in the network marketing business space, it is that person in your team. You need to go back to your people and begin to review that who is in my team. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are alone, you can do this much, but when you are more, you can do more. Now, all we mean is that we need collectivity. We need to team up and be able to work together. Now, listen to me. I normally say I would rather earn 100% from a 1%, a single percent from 100 people. Meaning I have 100 people, each one giving me only 1% commitment. I will get 100%. Rather than, having it with my own 100% strength. By the time I attain it, I will be exhausted. I'll be used up. I will be tired. I'll be wasted. I may not have the courage for another mile. But if I only contribute 1% and 99 more people give me 1%, I have 100% without much effort. I have it, I'm not tired. I have it, I'm still fresh. I have it, I can still think. I have it, I still have quality time with my family. Now listen to me. You need to relook your attitude towards your team members. You need to be able to appreciate them. You need to be able to help them through. You need to be able to pick them up. You need to be able to encourage them. But also, you need, as a leader, to be able to walk them through. Those that are struggling, they need the most of your attention. In the previous world, those who were struggling, you turned a blind eye on them and focused on those that are working. But in this dispensation, those who are struggling demand all your attention and help them make it. And the day they are making it, they will also be able to go into the same team and their teams and look for those that are struggling, and they be a support and a help to them. And now you have a team that is healthy. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the use of having 20,000 members in your team and have PVs that can be generated by maintenance of only 10 people? It's useless. So we need to rethink. Many of us, we are sitting on a gold mine. There are thousands and thousands of people in our team. We are sitting on a gold mine, but we do not know because we have not learned to value them. And now it is because in the old world, it was allowed, but not in the new world. So if you are to make it in the business now, you need to think again. Who is in your team? Now, that is number one. Number two, you need to understand your team dynamics. What am I talking about, Pastor? What? Now you want to fool us. What are you talking about? I'm saying every member of the team carries a particular capability. We are not all the same. Others may be good at recruiting. Others may be good at training. Others may be good at imparting a skill. Others may be good at maintenance. Others may be good at selling. So you need to go and study your team. What is the composition of your team? Let me tell you, if we go to play a soccer game and we have 11 players who are all strikers, and we go and play with an amateur team, we are going to lose. Because my team composition, it is not well structured. For me to win the game, I must have defenders. I must have a goalkeeper. I must have my defense line. I must have my midfield and my strikers. So who is the defense? Who is in the defense structure of your team? Who is the playmaker in the middle of your team? And who are the strikers of your team? Everyone is important. So many times we celebrated strikers because they sent 10 VIP members, and you took, no notice of those who are at the back line. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, understand the dynamics of your team. Don't expect the same result from every individual because they are composed the same. They are skilled, not the same. They are composed differently. They are wired differently. How do you expect an introvert to speak like the apostle? Oh, come on, brother. I'm talking to you, my sister. How do you expect a shy person to make a presentation? You are like, requesting a crocodile to fly, knowing that it has no wings, So we need to master the art to say, who composes my team? Who makes up my team? And what is the individual capabilities within my team? Then I will be able to leverage on the capabilities, the strengths, the talents, and the abilities of, a collective. Now, you want to make it now? Start to value everyone in your team. Go back to your team. Dismantle it. Look at it. Study every individual. Some of you have got so many people in your team, you don't even have numbers of many of them. 90% of the people in your team, you don't even have their numbers. You don't even know their home address. If you were to call, you don't even know them. You have never met them. You have never seen them. And this begins to show the wrong mentality that if you don't change that way of thinking, you will not be able to change the way of, of doing things. And you will not survive during this perilous time. These times are exciting. Every member in the team that we have is an asset. Every member in the team that we have is important. Every member in the team that we have, we may not all have the ability to present. We may not all have the ability to recruit. We may not all have the ability to sell. We may not all have, we don't have common abilities. And that is the strength and not a weakness. Once you understand that people in your team, they are actually the strength and the cornerstone of your team. In their different capabilities, you will not be able to realize the gold mine you are sitting on without a PV, and that mine can give you PVs. The day you change the way you think about each and every individual in your team, it is the day you are going to succeed in this business. Now listen. This then brings us to the second aspect of this presentation. I'm about to close because this one I'll deal with it in the next episode. But then it means the new environment requires us to reinvent ourselves. Do you know the story of a butterfly? It doesn't start as a butterfly. It starts as a worm. An egg that becomes a worm, which is a larva. That larva cocoons, meaning that it is weak, then it covers itself up, and then to have time to develop its strength. And from there, it then metamorphosizes, meaning a total change and a total turnaround. Can I say it again? The word metamorphosis means a total change and a total turnaround. That which was a worm walking the ground, it is now a butterfly flying the sky. Ladies and gentlemen, butterflies cannot decorate the sky. Butterflies are on the ground. They have no ability to fly. But the same worm, when it reads that the season around me is changing, I will not find my pleasure on the ground. For me to survive, I need to be able to adjust to the new atmospheric environment. But for me to qualify for the atmospheric environment, I need to develop wings. I need to shed some weight. Because you look at a butterfly, it is not as big as a worm called a larvae. So my brother, my sisters, you need to go through a process of reinvention. And when you reinvent yourself, it may require of you to metamorphosize, meaning you are going to have a complete change and a complete turnaround. A complete change and a complete turnaround. Wow, somebody is changing from today. I see teams that are turning around. I see teams changing. Look, you are taking a new shape. Who said you cannot make it? Who said you cannot succeed? Who said you cannot go on top? Who said you cannot rank up? Who said you cannot qualify for China? Who said you cannot qualify for Dubai? Who said you cannot be a star director? I see you metamorphosizing. They were looking down on you as a worm, a pre-diamond. But I see you changing D1. I see you changing D2. I see you changing D3, D4, D5, D6, D7. But before they know it, you are shining and flying the sky as an SD, SD1, SD2, SD3, SD4, SD5. And I'm talking about you and I'm talking to you. You have what it takes to become a star director number 5. You are changing and you are metamorphosizing. A complete change and a complete turnaround. It is coming your life. It is in this season that you are changing. If you can change your mind, if you can believe it, you can become it. If you can believe it, you will confess it. If you can confess it, you will possess it. I see you possessing your wildest dream. You are changing it. Come on, let me just look at one man who said this thing, and I'll close this thing. He said something powerful. And I love what he said. He said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. You want your team to change? Be the first one to change. Don't wait for 10% of your team to change. Change yourself first. Be the first to change as a leader. Change the way you look at them. Let them be shocked by your calls. I was just checking on you, my leader. My member, how are you? Are you okay? How is business? What are your challenges? How best can I help you? make that phone call today. Call everyone, every ZA number under your team, every BW number under your team, whatever that number is. Come on, somebody. Take a call now, invest in calling them. Be the change you want to see. You want them to work? Start to work. And the first work on yourself and work on them. You are a leader. Thank you. Number 2, it says, now everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. So for us to change the world, we must then change ourselves. Change your attitude. Because your attitude determines your altitude. And also then, in changing your attitude, have the attitude of gratitude. I want to have an attitude of gratitude. This means be a thankful person. Thank your member for just doing a 30 PV upgrade. Give a call and say, my member, I see you have done your maintenance this month. I want to thank you. I want to appreciate you. Why? Because 13.50 of that maintenance is coming to you. Have an attitude of gratitude. Learn to appreciate your team. Let the change start with you. And we also say, never doubt that a small group of people, it says, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Listen to me. A small group of thoughtful, committed citizens or team members can change the world. You can turn your team around. You can turn your business. You see, when we say Long Reach Business, we are not only referring to a ZA number. We are referring to everyone in your team. If I sell one toothpaste and 200 or 2,000 more people in my team sells one toothpaste, we sold 2,001 toothpaste. And that is 5 PV multiplied by 2,001 people. So, a small group of people who are thoughtful, committed, are able to change the entire world. They can change and transform your entire team. But then I say, the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do it. Are you not crazy like me? I'm crazy enough to think that I can change the entire Long Reach. That's how crazy I am. I'm so crazy. I think I can inspire the whole and the entire Long Reach. Are you watching me now? Am I not inspiring you? I am crazy enough to think I can change the whole world. Let's be crazy, all of us. Let's go and change the world. Now listen to me. In the next 4 minutes, I want to just wrap it up. I said the environment within which we do business has changed. I said so. Number 2, I said that change in the environment necessitates 2 things in your life. Number 1, that will change your mind, meaning the way you think. But number 2, that will change, the way you do things. Number 3, I said this changing of your mind and changing of your way of doing things means now you are able to reinvent yourself. And then it means you must change your attitude to have an attitude of gratitude, because your attitude has the power to take you to the summit. Your attitude has the power to take you to the mountaintop. Moses said at the closing time of his life, he said, I have been to the mountaintop and I've seen the land flowing of milk and honey. I'm standing here on top of the mountain, at the summit of the mountain. I see a glorious future in Long Reach. Ladies and gentlemen, you wanted to quit, don't quit now. If you wanted to quit, you should have quit long time ago. This is not the time to quit. Come on, go back. Take your tools of trade. Go back to the field. Find a way to do business online. Find a way to present online. Find a way to use your Facebook as your office, your Instagram, your Twitter. Find ways, to use WhatsApp as a tool of trade, as an office. Come on, somebody. Let's change our way of doing things. But this then happens once leaders begin to understand the art of leadership. When followers gets to master the art of following. Now, in the next episode, the apostle is coming back. He's going to deal with the art of leading and also deal with the art of following. Oh, I'm so excited about it. Let's close it here. But I want to say to you, don't procrastinate. From today, go back to your team. Appreciate every member of your team. He is your biological asset. That person that is quiet, that person that you don't even remember their face, he is a mine of gold that can bring you PVs. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, this is the apostle checking out today. Ciao, ciao. God bless you. See you later. Thank you.